guys, this is RJ. Welcome to Bible But Not Boring. So this is the finale, but not the finale of a book, not the finale of the series, the finale of the book, the finale of the series, and the finale of the season all at the same time. So this is going to be pretty epic. So we're going to make this a little bit longer than usual. So I hope you all enjoy it. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. So without further ado, let's get in. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get into this episode, I have an announcement. So for episode 20, we would like to do a question and answers. So if anybody has any questions that they want to ask, please comment on one of our posts or something, or you can email us at biblebutnotboring@aol.com. That's biblebutnotboring@aol.com. I'll leave that down in the show notes. Please answer. We really want to do this episode 20, questions and answers. So if you have any questions, just tell me, please. I would really love if you could tell me some questions, because I will have ready answers. Anything about the Bible, it doesn't have to be anything that big, just really anything. I will answer. I promise. Alright, well, without further ado, okay, now let's get into the episode. Shalomie, homie. I am here with my mom for the I think like 8th time?
I know what chapter are we on.
7. 7
Oh,
and 8.
so last time you read 6 with Dad, huh?
Yeah.
You read chapter 6 with Dad, even though I told you it was my favorite chapter.
Oh, yeah. Well, also, I did offer you to come, and you didn't.
I was nursing a baby.
Yeah.
It's rude.
So rude. Yeah.
It's rude.
Well,
What's my favorite part? What's my favorite part in that chapter?
When Haman parades around the king. I mean...
This is what is done for a man with whom the king is well pleased.
Yes. Also, you should see the cover for that episode.
It's a hilarious chapter in the Bible.
It is.
It's like Michael Scott embarrassing. Like you get secondhand embarrassment for...
Yeah.
For Haman.
Yeah.
It's my favorite. It's so comedic.
Yeah. I mean, there is more comedic things in the Bible than people think about. If you ever listen to The Bible is Funny, you'll see what I'm saying. A lot of stuff's really funny.
Alright, so what are we doing today?
We're reading the Bible.
Let's get to it then.
Alright, you ready?
Am I reading a chapter?
Yes, you are.
Okay, fabulous.
All right.
It's like the longest chapter. Is it 7?
Yeah,
That's the shortest. Okay.
Yeah.
Chapter 7. So, the king and Haman went to Queen Esther's banquet, and the king again said to Esther at the wine banquet, "Whatever your request, Queen Esther, you will be granted it. Whatever you want, up to half the kingdom, it will be done." Esther the queen answered, "If I have won your favor, king, and it pleases the king, then what I ask be given me is my own life and the lives of my people. For we have been sold, I and my people, to be destroyed, killed, exterminated. If we'd only been sold as men and women slaves, I would have remained quiet, since then our trouble would not have been worth the damage it would have caused the king to alter the situation." You're going to need to help me here.
Do such...
No.
What
is that?
A Havarosh.
Oh, of course, naturally.
Xerxes or...
King... What do you mean? Or...
There's a lot of other weird ways to say it. I say Xerxes, but there's also Havarosh. There's also the Axerxes, but that's actually trying to...
I thought it was King Ahasuerus.
Ahasuerus? There's a lot of them, but some people will say Axerxes, and then some people will say Xerxes. So there will be translations that say a different one. Axerxes is Xerxes' son, so they're actually trying to make that like the story 40 years ahead.
Wow, thanks for that. I did not know that.
Well, now you do.
All right.
All right.
Asked Esther the queen, "Who is he? Where is the man who has dared to do such a thing?" Esther said, "A ruthless enemy. It is this wicked Haman." Haman stood aghast, terrified before the king and queen. In a rage, the king got up from the wine banquet and went out to the palace garden. But Haman remained, pleading with Esther the queen to spare his life, for he could see that the king had decided to do him in. Haman had just fallen on the couch where Esther was when the king returned from the palace garden to the wine banquet. He shouted, "Is he even going to rape the queen here in the palace before my very eyes?" The moment these words left the king's mouth, they covered Haman's face. Harvona, one of the king's attendants, said, "Look, the gallows 75 feet high that Haman made for Mordecai, who spoke only good for the king, is standing at Haman's house." The king said, "Hang him on it." So they hanged Haman on the gallows he had prepared for Mordecai. Then the king's anger subsided.
Dun,
Dun, dun, dun. Oh, man, yeah.
Dang, yeah. A lot of people do say we are twins, so...
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I mean... I'll try not to take it personal.
I'll try not to take that personal.
No, that's not what I was saying. It's because I have long hair and everybody mistakes me for a girl, and it's so annoying. And
well, I think also you just, because of your long hair, you look like me already.
Yeah.
But then because you have long hair, it exacerbates the issue.
Yeah, and then both of my sisters are blonde, and I have a baby sister, which, if you remember, in a previous episode, the very first episode, in fact, I have 3 kids. Soon to be 4. No, you have 3 kids. Soon to be 4. That's what you said.
Oh, that's right. And now I do have 4 kids.
Yes.
Yeah. Praise Yah.
Praise Yah. So we had that. So you had that kid.
I did have that kid.
So that shows how long we've been doing this for.
Some time.
Actually, we have been doing this for a long time, and I feel like the whole time, I feel like Esther's just been going on forever and ever.
Well, no,
it does
kind of started in Solomon. Anyways, back to chapter 7.
All right. We have been beating on I don't want to start beating on a dead horse, so this is the day we end Esther. So, basically, Esther has a pretty genius thing that she's doing. This is like the plan that she schemed for the few days she was fasting.
3 more chapters. What do you mean you ended on the...
What?
You're ending today? You're not going to do the other 3 chapters?
No, this is the finale.
Oh, okay.
This is the finale. I don't know, we might have to do this in 2. But anyway, she has such a good plan. She got the king, Xerxes, Ahasuerus, Ahasuerus. I could go in for 1,000 more names. Ahasuerus. So she got him tipsy with alcohol and Haman drunk. Because the banquet had a lot of wine, it says. Mm-hmm. So she can kind of like do what Haman was doing. Not necessarily, but like she's got them to like understand. And in Esther, chapter 3, verses 8 through 9, what we just read, we have been sold. So, the king realizes at this point he's been misled. So, basically, Haman intended to misappropriate the same of the king's subjects, the Israelites, and make them his own slaves. So they have been sold. Mm-hmm. Slaves didn't mean literal back then. I mean, it meant like a submission to someone. They were sold to Haman. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Cause
is this a Tom Bradford history fact?
Kind of, but it's basically like slave. It meant that they have been sold to Haman for him to execute them. Like they are in Haman's hands and he can execute all the Israelites.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're saying that it's not literal sold as in slavery, but
yeah.
Sold as in like handed over.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, okay. And they were sold against their own will.
Right. It wasn't an agreement between them and Haman. It was an agreement between the authority the king passed to Haman.
Now, the king rushes outside the thing. He's like, oh, this would be a good time to use that therapy tool that I have. I'll go rush outside and take a walk in my garden. I mean, right?
Right.
So,
that's what I would do.
Now we have a pretty confusing part. Haman is begging for mercy, and the king says, is he gonna rape the queen in front of me? Mm-hmm. That doesn't make sense at first. But let me explain.
So wait a minute. Are you quoting Tom Bradford verbatim when you say it's a therapy tool? Or are you trying to be funny?
Mom, no. Tom Bradford's not funny. I totally said that on accident. Okay, well, anyways. So, what I was trying to say, he, says, it's kind of confusing. Is he gonna rape the queen in front of me when Haman's begging for mercy? So, there's a few things I've heard. So, in the Bible, like in the Complete Jewish Bible, the one that I use, it says that back then, no one would dare to be in the queen's presence alone. So, what Haman is doing is a breach of the harem protocol, and because the king took a walk, Haman is with the queen, so he says...
Haman should have left as well.
Yes. But another one, what I heard from another teacher, Tom Bradford, Haman's on the couch. He was kneeling, begging for Esther to spare his life, and the king returns at this very moment, and it looks a lot like Haman is raping the queen. And plus, the king has the ways that people can act around the king's private property, the king's harem, like the queen, is very strict. So the fact that he's doing this breach, he's not following the laws. This is like a breach of the harem protocol. So it's like he's making a little bit of dramatization, but is he gonna rape the queen right in front of me? That's what it meant. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Right.
So they covered his face, is meaning that they put like a hood over him for
over Haman, yeah,
to hang, and also impaled on a stake. Back then, didn't mean they just like threw the body on the stake. It means they hanged him and they impaled the skull on stakes.
Oh my goodness!
So it's a little gruesome, super violent for nowadays, but back then it was just normal. Blood, war, violence, killing was just a normal thing back then. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty awful, but
yeah,
back then it was just life.
Did it say they impaled him?
Yeah, they impaled him on a stake.
I thought they hung him on the gallows.
They hung him on a gallows, then they impaled him on a stake. That if you read it in chapter 2, when there's the side plot, that the two kings like guards are gonna try to assassinate the king. They have their bodies impaled on stakes, which means what I just said, and I'm not gonna say it again because it's kind of violent. But
yeah, okay.
Also, I know I said Tom Bradford's not funny, which is kind of true, but he did say this: Haman was hoisted on his own petard.
An alliteration there a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's the most appropriate saying.
Yeah.
He said, there's not a better of a time, there's not a more appropriate time to say that. Haman was hoisted on his own petard.
What is a petard?
I don't know.
Okay.
But that's what he said. It sounds very, very true. You know, look it up.
I am going
to. Well, we're about to get to chapter 8 right after a quick word from our sponsors. All right.
Okay, so...
What does it mean?
Sorry. So being hoisted by your own petard is a saying, apparently. It's not a phrase I've ever heard. But it means being harmed or defeated by your own scheme, trick, or device. Essentially falling into your own trap.
But what does petard mean?
I don't know. A petard says it's like a metal... It's like a bomb.
It's a bomb?
Yeah, and being hoisted by your own petard.
Wow.
Is a concept popularized by Shakespeare and Hamlet.
All right. So it sounds very Tom Bradford.
Very scholarly.
Yeah. Also, I heard Tom Bradford say, I don't know if I've already said that, so stop me if I have. But he says, my son, like when I was hearing, like when Xerxes is going to have his journal read to him, he says, my grandson says he listens to my CDs to fall asleep. I don't know how to take that, which is really funny because it's the exact same thing I do.
It is.
I do that.
It's very soothing. It's very scholarly and soothing.
I like listening to.
But you also listen to it recreationally outside of falling asleep.
Yeah, sometimes. But I can do both. I like that. Okay, well
Should I just start chapter 8 here?
Any afterthoughts before we get into chapter 8? All right, let's start.
That same day, King Xerxes gave the house of Haman, the enemy of the Jews, to Esther the queen. Also, Mordecai appeared before the king, for Esther had revealed his relationship to her. The king removed his signet ring, which he had taken back from Haman, and gave it to Mordecai. Then Esther put Mordecai in charge of Haman's house. Again, Esther spoke to the king. She fell at his feet and begged him with tears to put an end to the mischief Haman the Agagite had caused by the scheme he had worked out against the Jews.
What's funny?
Nothing. I second-guessed my enunciation. Oh. The king extended the gold scepter toward Esther, so Esther got up and stood in front of the king.
I'm going to gag
She said... If it pleases the king, if I have won his favor and the matter seems right to the king, and if I have his approval, then let an order be written rescinding the letters devised by Haman the son of Hamdata, the Agagite, which he wrote to destroy the Jews in all the royal provinces. For how can I bear to see the disaster that will overcome my people? How can I endure seeing the extermination of my kinsmen? King Xerxes said to Esther, the queen, and Mordecai, the Jew, listen, I gave Esther the house of Haman, and they hanged him on the gallows because he threatened the lives of the Jews. You should issue a decree in the king's name for whatever you want concerning the Jews, and seal it with the king's signet ring, because a decree written in the king's name and sealed with the king's ring can't be rescinded by anyone. The king's secretaries were summoned at that time on the 23rd day of the 3rd month, the month of Sivan, and a decree was written according to everything Mordecai ordered concerning the Jews. To the army commanders, governors, and officials of the provinces from India to Ethiopia, 127 provinces, to each province in its script, and to each people in their language, also to the Jews in their script and language. They wrote in the name of the king Xerxes and sealed it with the king's signet ring. They sent the letters of couriers on horseback riding fast horses used in the king's service and bred from the royal stock. The letters said the king had granted the Jews in every city the right to assemble and defend their lives by destroying, killing, and exterminating any forces of any people or province that would attack them, their little ones or their women, or would try to seize their goods as plunder on the designated day in any of the provinces of King Xerxes, namely the 13th day of the 12th month, the month of Adar. A copy of the edict was to be issued as a decree in every province and proclaimed to all the peoples, and the Jews were to be ready on that day to take vengeance against their enemies. Couriers riding fast horses used in the king's service left quickly, pressed by the king's order, and the decree was issued in Shushan, the capital. Meanwhile, Mordecai left the king's presence arrayed in royal blue and white, wearing a large gold crown and a robe of fine linen and purple. And the city of Shushan shouted for joy, for the Jews all was light, gladness, joy, and honor. In every province and city where the king's order and decree arrived, the Jews had gladness and joy, a feast and a holiday. Many from the people of the land became Jews, because a fear of the Jews had overcome them.
When you just said they are wearing purple, I'm just thinking, start wearing purple for me now. So, again, like what we were talking about, so the king could never overturn a sealed deal.
Mm-hmm.
So, like that happened with Daniel. We were talking about that last episode. So, anyway.
I wasn't
now
here.
An interesting part. So, I forgot to say this earlier. But before we quit Esther, so in the Esther movie, she doesn't want to be queen. But nothing implies that in the Bible. Esther has kind of been stereotyped because we were talking about, like, I was listening to Bradford, and he's like,
it says that between cinematic translations of Esther versus scriptural.
In cinema, they would have been impoverished. They were impoverished and everything. And they would have been culturally accepted. And one thing that I just found out, it says that Mordecai is the son of Kish. He's related to Kish.
Oh, I remember you telling me about this.
Is Saul's dad, King Saul's dad. He was in a royal Benjamite, bloodline. And he was also one of the few people that got to be inside the king's gates. He's not this underprivileged, impoverished man who's, oppressed.
Mm-hmm.
And Esther also...
It's not like anybody all over the place. Everyone could just go into the king's gates.
Yeah. And Esther also is an abused victim of a barbaric king.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've seen that in the past few episodes. I mean, it's not like they were being kidnapped from their own home.
But I don't think that dismisses the grief of being removed from your home and taken from your family. Like, yes, there was considered to be riches and things like that.
Sure. But it's not like how cinema shows it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay. So, anyway, this stuff comes from Greek stereotypes. And also, we have one part to read. It's a doozy, but it is so worth it because this is very interesting.
You guys should know this is a surprise to me.
Yeah. So this is the Greek translation. We're gonna skip ahead to verse 8. where this starts getting a little crazy. Okay.
All right. Write in my name whatever seems good to you, and seal it with my ring. For whatever is written at the command of the king, and sealed with my ring, cannot be countermanded. So the scribes were called in the first month, which is Nisan, on the 23rd day of the same year, and orders were written to the Jews. Whatever the king had commanded to the local governors and chiefs of the local governors, from India even to Ethiopia, 127 local governors according to the several provinces in their own languages.
Wait for it. Okay.
They were written by order of the king, sealed with his ring, and the letters were sent by the couriers. In them he charged them to use their own laws in every city to help each other, and to treat their adversaries and those who attacked them as they pleased. On one day in all the kingdom of Azaris, on the 13th day of the 12th month, which is Adar, let the copies be posted in conspicuous places throughout the kingdom. Let all the Jews be ready against the day to fight against their enemies. The following is a copy of the letter containing orders. The great King Ahasuerus sends greetings to the rulers of provinces in 127 local governance regions from India to Ethiopia, even to those who are faithful to our interests. Many who have been frequently honored by the most abundant kindness of their benefactors have been conceived ambitious designs and not only endeavor to hurt our subjects, but moreover, not being able to bear prosperity, they also endeavor to plot against their own benefactors. They not only would utterly abolish gratitude from among men, but also, elated by the boastings of men who are strangers to all that is good, they supposed that they would escape the sin-hating vengeance of ever-seeing God, of the ever-seeing God. And oftentimes, evil exhortation has made partakers of the guilt of shedding innocent blood, and has involved in irremediable calamities many of those who had been appointed of offices of authority, who had been entrusted with the management of their friends' affairs, while men, by the false sophistry of an evil disposition, have deceived the simple candor of ruling powers. And it is possible to see this not so much from more ancient traditionary accounts, as it is immediately in your power to see it by examining what things have been wickedly perpetrated by the baseness of men unworthily holding power. It is right to take heed with regard to the future, that we may maintain the government in undisturbed peace for all men, adopting needful changes, and ever judging those cases which come under our notice with truly equitable decisions. For whereas Haman, a Macedonian, the son of Hammedatha,
the Agagite,
in reality an alien from the blood of the Persians, and differing widely from our mild course of government, having been hospitable, entertained by us, obtained so large a share of our universal kindness as to be called our father, and to continue the person next to the royal throne, reverenced of all. He, however, overcome by pride, endeavored to deprive us of our dominion and of our life, having by various and subtle artifices demanded for destruction both Mordecai, our deliverer and perpetual benefactor, and Esther, the blameless consort of our kingdom, along with the whole nation. For by these methods he thought, having surprised us in a defenseless state, to transfer the dominion of the Persians to the Macedonians. But we find that the Jews, who have been consigned to the destruction by the most abominable of men, are not malefactors, but living according to the justice laws, and being the sons of the living God, the most high and mighty, who maintains the kingdom, to us as well as to our forefathers in the most excellent order. You will therefore do well in refusing to obey the letter sent by Haman, the son of Hammedatha, because he who hath done these things has been hanged with his whole family at the gates of Susa, Almighty God having swiftly returned to him a worthy punishment. We enjoin you then, having openly published a copy of this letter in every place, to give the Jews permission to use their own lawful customs, and to strengthen them, that on the 13th of the 12th month Adar, on the same day, they may defend themselves against those who attack them in a time of affliction. For in the place of the destruction of the chosen race, Almighty God has granted them this time of gladness. Therefore, you also, among your notable feasts, must keep a distinct day with all festivity, that both now and hereafter it may be a day of deliverance to us, and who are well disposed toward the Persians, but to those that plotted against us, a memorial of destruction. And every city and province collectively which shall not do accordingly shall be consumed with vengeance by spear and fire. It shall be made not only inaccessible to men, but most hateful to wild beasts and birds forever. Let the copies be posted in conspicuous places throughout the kingdom, and let all the Jews be ready against this day to fight against their enemies. Man, you should have warned me.
All right, I told you it's a doozy.
Holy moly.
So that was what was supposed to be the decree.
So that's, wow, that's wild.
Yeah, that's what it was supposed to be.
Thanks.
So, but there is a few problems. There's 4. So,
Let's hear him.
The first edict that Haman did was not set out in the king's name.
Okay.
Second, Haman was hung by his house, not where it said he was hung.
At the gates of Susa?
Yeah.
Okay. So again, this is a Greek translation. Like, I've never seen this before.
Yeah.
This is my first time reading it.
Xerxes calls God the Almighty God,
Mm-hmm.
and he's a leader of pagan nations. I don't think so.
So, okay.
And basically, Xerxes orders his subjects to basically disobey the first edict.
Mm-hmm.
In that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the problems. So, I mean, I don't think that's the actual, like, what it was.
Then why are we looking this up in the first place?
Because it's kind of interesting.
It is interesting.
It's interesting. That was what it's
So is Tom Bradford saying that this is a, like, invalid, like, document?
This is what Tom Bradford says. He does have some pretty good evidence.
Yeah.
I mean, the Greek translation is very, very strange, and he has pulled that up a few times. I've read it for myself. It's weird.
Okay.
Like we were talking about in chapter 5, you weren't here, but Esther goes to the king, and the king is at first very mad, and he's gonna like hurt Esther, but then the God changes his heart and takes out the golden scepter. So yeah, the Greek translation is pretty odd. Anyway, so basically,
But it was fun to read.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, it's very, very, very false, but it's fun. But the only problem, they don't have a version of chapter 6 in it. What kind of brings it down.
Yeah.
They don't have the best part.
Yeah.
Alright. I mean, I feel like we could agree that that's the best part.
I think so. I think it's, like I said, written very comedically.
Mordecai now owns Haman's place.
Mm-hmm.
It's given to him. But
Mordecai.
So basically, this could be a happy ending, but the Israelites are still logically in danger.
Just because they're in Persia.
Yeah. So all Israelites are attacked. I mean, the first decree is still out there. They have the right to defend themselves. Yeah, right? So, yeah. So the battle could only last one day, obviously.
Do you mean that they're still in danger because people had received that decree and planned to harm the Jews on that day? Or
yeah, there's still people
because they're in Persia?
There's still people who are, like, gonna hurt them, but this was basically a sneaky nullification that they were doing still. They didn't... And people were very happy because they didn't have to kill their Israelite friends because Israelites are family now. And it says at the end, many became an Israelite that day, a Jew that day.
Yeah, that confused me. Like they converted.
Well, this is a very complex. What Tom Bradford said. I came to the conclusion. I was thinking, it probably means that they believed in God, and they because you know how in the Torah, I mean, when Joshua's getting into the Promised Land, it's like the Gibeonites, kind of convert themselves to Jews, because there is, many Gentiles do become Jews every year, and, I heard that what is to be qualified isn't really known. It varies. So one fact is known, that you do have to denounce Yeshua of Nazareth.
Well, that's a modern day.
Yeah, that's modern day.
Let's not discuss the modern day. What would it have been then?
So, what is known is you don't have to declare any loyalty to Yah. But, yeah, back then, I'm guessing that they, just converted themselves to worshiping God because they were all in a pagan nation. Right? So, what I'm trying to say is there's not really a direct answer, but that's what I heard.
Okay, got it.
So yeah,
this is per Tom Bradford.
Per Tom Bradford, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's all I have for today. Any afterthoughts?
I know this was really fun.
Right. Well, this isn't the end of the episode, actually, because, the end of this interview, but this is the finale. So, I'm going to have another interview on the same episode. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to have an interview with Dad later. So,
you mean on the same chapter?
On the same episode. This is going to be the same episode because this is the finale, so it's going to be a little bit longer.
Got it.
This is the finale of the season. I would just like to say I appreciate everybody who's been listening, really.
Yeah.
To the season. We are a lot bigger than before.
That's right.
We're not big, but we have 18 followers.
I was just going to ask how many episodes do we have?
This is the 17th episode.
Oh, so you only almost have as many episodes as you have followers.
Yeah, on Instagram we do have more people that follow. And one of my newer videos got almost 700 views. So.
Very nice.
So yeah, I just appreciate everybody who listens. It's nice. It's nice to know that people are listening and enjoying the content. So if anyone wants a shout out, please tell me. Shout out again to Mrs. Danielle and her kids. Shout out to Mrs. Amy also, if she's
Hurst.
Mrs. Amy Hurst, yes. So yeah, that's all I have, and thanks for listening to the first half of this episode. I feel like I'd be like, thanks for listening, wrap it up, but it's not. Yeah. So I would do the Bible jokes, but we don't have them yet. Okay, well, bye. Bye from this. Welcome back to my dad being forced to be on a Bible podcast with me.
Oh, no more Bible facts, please.
No. Sorry.
Can we talk about, like, Mickey Mouse or something?
What? Why?
I don't know.
Like old Mickey Mouse or new Mickey Mouse?
I don't care. Something different. No more Esther.
Well, yeah, we've done way too much Esther. I can't agree with you on that one. And that's why today we're wrapping it up in the Esther finale. One last mega episode.
Mega?
Yeah. The Alpha and the Omega. So this was recorded within 2 sessions because I did one with Mom and now I'm doing one with you.
Oh, okay.
Because this is the mega episode. And people probably don't understand how long it was between interviews.
Okay, how long was it?
It was about 2 weeks ago I started when it was like 5 seconds for you between transitions.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I might put some ads over there. But what am I supposed
ads?
Yeah, what am I supposed to advertise?
I don't know.
Oh, my candles, yeah.
Bible underwear.
Yeah.
You get a brief message every day.
You get a brief message. Love it. Yeah. Well, I'd just like to say this is a big day for us. This is a big day. I don't think everybody understands how big of a day this is. This is the end of the season.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, after this, there probably isn't going to be that much. We're probably not going to get back at it for a minute.
Oh, really? You taking a break?
Yeah, I'm going to take a break, honestly. And also, I'm going to be working on the new series, which is going to be epic. And it's going to take me, I searched it, and it's going to take me an average of 22 years to get through.
No way. What are you doing?
Oh, I'm not going to tell everybody.
Oh, all right.
All right.
All right. What are we reading today? Esther 12?
Esther 9 and 10.
Okay.
I would just like to say, it feels like it's been forever doing Esther.
Yeah, I'd say so.
It feels like that's been our whole podcast longevity.
We did like 1 chapter a week for a while. So.
Yeah, we did 1 chapter a week all the way up to chapter 4, and then we did 5 and 6, and now we're doing, it was 4 in 6.
I don't know, man.
Oh, okay, anyway. But yeah, it was 5 and 6, and now we're doing 7 to 10 in the final episode. So yeah, we got to get over Esther, because I don't want to milk it dry. So, what do you say? Let's get into this.
All right.
And since we've never heard you read the Bible on the podcast before, just read at least a few verses, please.
All right. I put people to sleep when I read, though.
All right. Just do a
looking.
few verses. Right?
The time approached for the king's order and decree to be carried out, the day when the enemies of the Jews hoped to overpower them, but as it turned out, the opposite took place. The Jews overpowered those who hated them. Thus, on the 13th day of the 12th month of Adar,
okay, that's enough. That's enough. Thank you.
Put you to sleep?
Yeah. The Jews assembled in their 13th day of the 12th month, the month of Adar. The Jews assembled... Oh, wait. The Jews assembled in their cities throughout all the provinces of King Ahasuerus to attack anyone... Okay, there's a lot of other translations. We've talked about this.
I know.
Okay, yep. So, to attack anyone who tried to do them harm. And no one was able to withstand them because all the people were afraid of them. All the officials of the provinces, the army, the commanders, the governors, and those who occupied with the king's affairs helped the Jews because they were afraid of Mordecai. For Mordecai had become a powerful person in the king's palace, and his fame had spread through all the provinces of Mordecai continued to grow increasingly powerful.
Nice.
It's a plot twist right there.
Yeah, gangsta.
Yeah, Gangsta Morty.
Morty.
Yeah, Morty. Yeah, Gangsta Morty. The Jews put all their enemies to the sword. There was great slaughter and destruction as they did whatever they wanted to those who hated them.
Yikes.
In Shushan, the capital, the Jews slaughtered 500 men. They put to death the tens of sons of Haman, the son of Hammedatha the Agagite. Remember that? I remember an episode long time ago when this podcast wasn't nostalgic yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Parshandata, Dalphon, Aspata. This is everybody that they put to death. This is all of Haman's sons that they put to death. Parshandata, Dalphon, Aspata, Poryata, Adalia, Aradata, Parmashata, Ariasa, Eridai, and Valazita. I probably think they put them to death.
Sounds like different kinds of pasta.
I think they probably put them to death because how bad their names were. But they did not touch the spoil, which we'll talk about later. The same day after the king had been told...
Who are they the sons of?
Haman.
Boo.
Okay, that's probably one of the last times you'll hear that, so I'm not gonna get mad. Alright. So, he said to Esther the queen, the same day after the king had been told the number of those who killed in Shushan the capital, he said to Esther the queen, if the Jews have slaughtered 500 men in Shushan the capital and tens of sons of Haman, what have they done to the rest of the royal provinces? Now whatever you request will be granted, and whatever more you want, it will be done. Esther replied, if it pleases the king, let the Jews in Shushan act again tomorrow in accordance with today's decree. Also have Haman's 10 sons hanged on the gallows. Oof. The king ordered these things done. A decree was issued in Shushan, and they hanged Haman's 10 sons. So the Jews in Shushan assembled also on the 14th day of the month of Adar, and killed 300 men in Shushan, but they did not touch the spoil, what we will talk about later. The other Jews, those in the royal provinces, had assembled, defended their lives, and won rest from their enemies, killing 75,000 of those who hated them, but without touching the spoil on the 13th day of the month Adar. So on the 14th day of Adar, they rested and made it a holiday for celebrating and rejoicing. However, the Jews of Shushan assembled on both the 13th and the 14th days of Adar, so it was on the 15th that they rested and made it a holiday for celebrating and rejoicing. This is why the Jews of the villages who live in unwalled towns make the 14th day of the month of Adar a day for celebrating and rejoicing, a holiday and a time for sending each other portions or food.
So it's Purim, right?
Mordecai recovered these events and sent letters to all the Jews and all the provinces of King Ahasuerus, both near and far, instructing them to observe the 14th day of the month of Adar and the 15th day every year to commemorate the days on which the Jews obtained rest from their enemies, the month which for them was turned from sorrow into gladness and from mourning into a holiday. They were to make them days of celebrating and rejoicing, sending portions of food to each other and giving gifts to the poor, just like they threw poor at Haman. So the Jews looked upon themselves to continue what they had already begun to do. And as Mordecai had written to them, because Haman the son of Hamdata the Agagite, the enemy of the Jews, had plotted against the Jews to destroy them, and had thrown Por, that is to cast lots, we talked about that before, to crush and destroy them. But when Esther had thrown Por, But when Esther came down, the king he ordered by letters that Haman's wicked scheme, which he had plotted against the Jews, should recoil on his own head, and that he and his son should be hanged on the gallows. This is why these days have been called Purim. And the word Por, thus, because of everything written in this letter, and what they had seen concerning this matter, and what had come upon them, the Jews resolved and took upon themselves their descendants and all who might join them, that without fail they would observe these 2 days in accordance with what was written in this letter, and it appointed them every year, and that these days would be remembered and observed throughout every generation, every family, every province, and every city, and that these days of Purim would never cease among the Jews, or their memory be lost by their descendants. Then Esther, the queen of the daughter of Abihail, and Mordecai, the Jew, gave full written authority to confirm a second letter about Purim. He sent copies of it to all the Jews to the 127 provinces of the kingdom of Ahasuerus, ensuring their peace and security, and requiring the observance of these days of Purim at their designated times, as Mordecai, the Jew, and Esther the queen had enjoined them, and as they had established for themselves and their descendants concerning the matters of fasting and lamenting. At Esther's order, these matters of Purim were confirmed and put in writing in the book.
That's a long one.
That's a long one, but
wow,
that
10 is like the shortest chapter.
Yeah, it's gonna be a relief.
It's like shorter than Habakkuk or whatever. Habakkuk, whatever, however you say it.
What are you talking about?
Oh, you never hit record. Womp womp.
I remember. That actually reminds me that when you said that once on episode 6, I was like, don't give me that torture, Dad. Don't give me that torture. We all laughed. That was the one with you, me, and Mom.
Oh.
And I remember recording that episode. I was like, this is so awesome. And then that's the first time I played the usual intro right now. And I'm like, that theme song is so banging. And this episode is so good. It's going to get so many views. Ends up getting 3 views, and I listened to it, and I'm like, this is probably the worst episode I've ever done.
Dang, you never know, man.
Yeah, it was pretty rough, honestly.
Aw.
It was, but, we've learned a lot. Okay, well, do you have anything to say before we start reading the notes?
Oh, shoot. I don't think 75,000 people. Something.
What?
I don't know. Alright, I don't really have much. I didn't get a chance to read it early on.
Alright, well, let's jump in. So, just like we were talking about in Haman's humiliation,
okay,
there is also no Greek addition to Esther chapter 9.
Oh, really? So it just skips 9?
It skips all of the important chapters. That's gotta be the most important chapter. That's the whole Purim story.
Yeah, that's really weird. I wonder, was there a theory behind that you've heard, or?
No.
But,
I mean, there wasn't a Greek edition.
We really should read the, Second Esther? That's in,
Rules of Addition to Esther. That's what it's called, but it definitely doesn't have anything new about Esther, as what I've heard. And
it just, points it back to Yeshua.
I glimpsed through it once. Maybe we could do, a bonus episode about that or something.
Yeah, I don't know. We'd have to read it.
I've made 1 bonus episode so far.
Bonus?
Whoa, whoop, whoop, whoop.
You made another one, too. You just never released it.
Oh, yeah, that one. We don't talk about that one, though.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
All right. So, you know what? If this episode gets 10 streams and downloads, I will post it. All right. Now, when I was listening to Tom Bradford, he said, I know Esther is kind of like a funny comedy, right?
Okay.
And we were talking about like how it's like written like a story and it's kind of like a lighthearted comedy to some people.
Okay.
It's definitely not lighthearted comedy to me. But he says, I don't think 75,000 people dying would be funny in any generation.
No.
It's not fun.
Not at all, dude.
Chernobyl.
Yeah, it's awful.
It's not funny. So this story shows the Israelites' triumph.
Yeah.
So, what basically, if you were listening to your last one, you know how it says like that all of the Israelites had the right to defend themselves because Esther made a decree, so the Israelites could stop that decree, prevent that decree.
Yeah.
So the decree that Haman made. So basically, that means a lot of Israelites would have either avoided, just ignored the second edict. I mean, the portions that were commanded to kill all of the Israelite neighbors, remember?
Yeah.
Like in Haman's decree. Why is it that they still would have done it? They would have either ignored it or just not cared. They want to kill the Israelites no matter what it takes. I mean, right?
I would think so.
They would have, and even if they all died, they would have died trying to do what's right, and doing air quotes. You can't see those because I'm in a podcast, but yeah. So there's also a word that says supposedly it says that they attacked them with saha, which means sahe. I don't know if I'm spelling that right.
Okay.
Again, this is not the good podcast to go for translations.
Where'd you write it?
Right there. Intense hatred.
SAHEH?
Yeah.
Huh.
Intense hatred.
That's
Almost
what it
like
means.
the Nazis. Yeah. You know, I'm just imagining. You know what? Let's look up what saha means. You know, I'm kind of curious.
You don't know?
It was 9. The one we just.
Yeah. But like which verse you don't know?
No.
Because the thing that I find online is there's a Hebrew word. It looks like it's sa'ah, but it says like to be astonished or stunned, which means like to be giddy.
Sounds like a good word for in like Esther, like
or to
the
look
king
towards or guards.
Well, maybe I was wrong.
Yeah, that's weird.
Maybe I looked at the wrong teaching or something.
Yeah, it must be.
Maybe. I'm just imagining, because it says the 127 provinces. There's like 127 provinces.
Okay.
And I'm just imagining that it's like 127 districts. That's like another word.
Oh, an extreme Hunger Games.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Imagine poor Effie Trinket just walking from district to district, just like, when she gets to 127.
Poor Esther Trinkage.
She's gonna be like, happy Hunger Games.
Hunger Games is just based on Esther. You didn't know that?
Oh. It is kind of like Hunger Games, but not dying.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Okay.
Hunger Games.
I don't get it, but you're talking about the song. But the idea of like Purim, of what I've studied, is that to forgive the gifts to people. To like give gifts to people in need, like giving to homeless people.
Nice.
Not like Halloween, like giving to people in need. You know, giving little pieces.
I like that.
Mana, which is pieces and parts in Hebrew.
You know what the best part about Purim is?
What?
Haman hats.
Yeah, that's actually
cookies,
just remember. Yeah, those are pretty good.
Haman hats are super good.
Yeah. Also, switching topics, another note I found that was really interesting is that we could easily judge the Israelites for saying, like, they intensely and brutally murdered everybody that came against them. I mean, right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, God does say, turn the other cheek in the Bible.
Okay.
But also, if you read it, what I seem to believe is that when God said turn the other cheek, he doesn't mean, like, an offense in the South would be if you slap someone in the cheek. That was mean. But at least you didn't do it. But what I'm saying is, like, Yeshua meant not to use violence for purposes of honor.
Gotcha.
He didn't mean to be a defenseless person.
A little sissy boy.
Yeah, he didn't mean to be a little sissy boy. A sissy boy. It's fun to say, but yeah, God gave them rights also.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
there's no reason.
And you
to
gotta
that.
fight for your right to worship.
Yeah, that was what I came up with. All right. So do we have anything left on Esther?
I mean, chapter 10 is gonna take 4 seconds to read.
Yeah, it is. So, what I thought, it says the Israelites do not take the spoils. They do not take the spoils in Esther, when they win the wars. Well, the reason that they said that in Samuel, when King Saul was defeating off the Amalekites, remember, they were defeating off the spirit of Amalek, the same thing, in Esther, because, Haman was an Amalekite. Yeah, we talked about that before. So, the reason that they're not taking the spoils is because this is a holy war, and the spoils are supposed to belong to God.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's why they're not taking the spoils.
Sense.
Yeah. All right. Now, the final chapter of Esther. Well, I'm going to read it.
It's a long one.
It's a really long one. Everybody get buckled and get ready for the long show. King Ahasuerus laid tribute on the land, the coast and the islands, all the acts of his power and might, along with full account of the high honor to which the king advanced to Mordecai, are written in the annals of the king of Media and Persia. For Mordecai the Jew was second only to King Ahasuerus. He was a great man among the Jews, popular with all of his many countrymen. He sought for the good of his people and interceded for the welfare of all their descendants. That was the longest chapter.
Dang.
It was really long.
You blink and that one's gone.
Yeah.
Okay. Mordecai the Jew was next. Okay, so Mordecai became the king.
Yeah.
Cool.
It says that this was written down in the annals.
Okay.
It says it was barely anything was written down before. So the fact that it was written down was important.
Yeah.
So that's all. That's all the notes I have for that.
Oh, wow.
That's all.
Wow. Okay. Dang. That's pretty funny. That's such a short chapter.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
I can't believe I'm saying this. That wraps up our season.
How many episodes of Esther was there? 14?
Feels like it, but let's see. This is the 6th episode.
Okay. Nice.
That was more than almost 2 months. Felt like a year. It did feel like a really long time.
It's been a long year.
Well, I really appreciate it. And about now, I would be starting up Bible jokes, but I agreed with my dad. This episode's way too good for Bible jokes. For these lame, cheesy Bible jokes that I tell. So I will be nice to my dad and not make him suffer.
Yeah, you just couldn't think of any.
Yeah. Well, anyway, goodbye, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. I would just like to say I really appreciate everybody that listened to any of the episodes this year. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And
Shalomie Homies.
yeah, I just remember everything being at 000. Now we're at 18.
Nice.
No, we have 19 followers on Spotify.
Oh, cool.
24 followers on Instagram now.
Sweet.
So we've got a lot bigger. I just really appreciate
Moving on up.
I just really appreciate everybody who's played a part in this. Everybody who's commented. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Well, that's all you're gonna hear from us on the podcast for I think a little bit.
All right.
All right. Oh, yeah. And we've also got a hilarious blooper for you if you stayed this far.
Hi, my name is Carl, and I make a podcast, and it's called Carl's Not Boring. Today's episode that I made is going to be about tuna. I bought some tuna from the grocery store, and I think it's probably one of the best cans that I've ever used. It didn't cut me, and the tuna was real fresh. I think it could be confused for cat
Can we
food
talk about
because
something
it tastes-
interesting now? I just fell out of my seat.
Don't put that on your pot.
Oh, and also, if you are wondering what our new series is all about, I'll give you a hint, but it's only going to be 3 words. See if you can find out. In the beginning. Hey, my mom would like to start a podcast. I've been encouraging her to start like a sourdough, like a spirit-led mom like podcast, just like, you know, some faith in sourdough or something. I don't know. I mean, she can build a niche, but I've been wanting her to start this podcast for a while. And then, yeah, I thought that would be pretty cool, but, you know, I mean, it's going to be really hard to actually get her to start it. So, if you would be into her starting that, leave some comments below. Please just do something so my mom will be encouraged to start this podcast. Because I've been wanting her to start it for a while. And if she actually starts that would be pretty awesome. Just saying. So if you want to listen to that podcast, she's more Shalomstead. Check her out on TikTok. Please, just leave some comments down below if you think that would be cool. Yeah. Alright. Also, Shalom Glow candles are coming out soon. We've got glass candles. We've got Shabbat Memories flavor. This orange, citrusy, beautifully scented beeswax candle. And we've also got the plain beeswax coming soon. So please stay tuned for that. You can comment. We're getting all the candles made right now. So if you would like one, please ask us. They're for sale. For sale soon, for at least. Yeah. Also, for episode 20, we would like to do a Q&A. So please drop your questions, and we will feature them in our new Q&A. Please drop those questions, man. Yeah, we could really use them. We tried to do this for episode 10. It didn't really work, so just a quick reminder. Please check out that Q&A. Please do a Q&A. Please ask us any question about the Bible or the podcast whatsoever. We will answer you as long as it comes through correctly. You could email us for email, biblebutnotboring@aol.com. That's biblebutnotboring@aol.com. You'll see it in the show notes. You can look at it on our podcast description. You'll see it if you view our content for sure. Yeah, I check that too often. And yeah, so we're gonna be doing that pretty soon. And yeah, thank you for tuning in for the first season of Bible But Not Boring. That is the end, folks. Thank you for listening.